Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Tavern Masters is a little card game that I got on Kickstarter. It didn't come from a big company. It's self-published, I believe. And it's a fun little card game. So you're going to be playing these things down like, I'm going to have a menu of like bread or mead or wine. And then you're going to try to get these patrons to come to your tavern, if you will. The main issue with the game I have is the fact that the patrons are just kind of random at first. You kind of get these guys, when you're getting the goods, you're able to draft those at the beginning of the game, and then you just kind of draw from the deck and draw these patrons. So if you're lucky enough to get goods, the tavern cards, and the patron cards that match, I think that you'll do better. Now, there is an expansion of Dirty Deeds that has them take that into it, which I don't normally like, but I think helps the game quite a bit. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do and talk about an expansion when I talk about the base game. I don't think the base game is strong enough to get. I think there's a lot of problems with it, with that balancing act of when patrons come in. I think the idea is you're drawing so many cards that it kind of self-balances, if you will, but I don't think that it does. I think the Dirty Deeds expansion coming into the game does that, where you can kind of attack other people and attack that leader who may be running away from the game. Now, the game is short enough. You're only going to like the 20 points or 20 coins, and you're using those points or coins to buy cards. And at some point, you just want your engine, boom, and you want to get that 5, 6, 7, 8 point turn, and it's enough for you to win the game. And that's what's going to happen. So the game's light enough where some of these problems may not bother you. If you're looking for a light card game, this could be it. If you like this generic fantasy theme of going into the taverns, I think that it's fine. And I like the artwork enough. It's a little amateurish, but I like it. And I think it really brings out the game. Now, the positives. You got a quick game. It's a small little card game. It's about building this little bit of an engine. But the negatives kind of outweigh that, where you're like, well, that's the positive, but the negative is I don't really have enough control over what's going on. I wish there was almost like a line of patrons, and we were all going after those guys. So if you like bread, and I have 3 bread, and you had 2 bread, they would come to me. So that gives me something to kind of work with, as opposed to just a random draw. And I'm not really a house ruler. I didn't even try that. Just something that kind of popped in my head. I was like, I would like that more, so I would have more control. But that's not this game. This is more of like a just draw a card game, play some cards. How am I going to press my luck to do that? The trading really helps it. I mean, you really have to trade in this game, and people have to be willing to trade to get what they want. If you play with people who like only want to trade with you, if they get the most benefit of it, then this game really kind of falls apart. Because in that trading aspect, you need to be able to get what you want. Otherwise, you're just playing cards that you draw. That's all you're doing. I draw on a card, and I'm going to play them. If I score some points, yippee, yippee, yippee. If not, so that trading really, really comes into it. It's okay. The Dirty Deeds expansion in this makes it a full game. And I kind of feel like maybe it was designed that way, and there's such a bad connotation that comes with Take That they didn't want it to be part of the game. But if you don't like Take That, this might be one where you're like, it actually works here and has a game purpose versus just that's the game. So I like it in this game quite a bit. I would recommend this game with the Dirty Deeds expansion, not so much without it. Even so, it's going to be a purge for me. I'm not really into light card games. I do like some of them. This is when I particularly, it just didn't make the cut. Although it is what I would recommend for you to try out. I think it works. I like the theme. I like what it's doing here. I like expansions. Now, when you get all of the expansions and all the promo, the dice one, it's okay. But I think that you have a full-fledged game here. I feel like this game is kind of picked apart to have those expansions to make it look like you're getting more than you are. But I like the game. It's just not going to stay in my collection, so it'll be a purge. Here's Tavern Masters. You can see this is going to happen inside of a pub, and you're going to have orcs and wizards and whatnot involved. It's actually kind of a small box, a little bit deep, but it is a rather small box and compact. You're going to have a rule book that will come with it. You are going to have a bunch of these little coins. They're cardboard, very thick, very nice, and there was an upgrade for metal. We are going to have a couple expansions I was able to fit inside of here pretty easily. So there's a lot of room in this box. This is what you get with the base game. That was the expansions that I put in there. You're going to get a few of these tokens for the rounds. They're very thick, very nice. You are going to have your cheat sheets for the rounds. Very thick cardboard. You're going to have the icons on the back, so a great little cheat sheet. And this is what you'll be playing with most of the time is your decks of cards. Here's the patron decks. You can see they look like a wooden door. And then you'll have some artwork on it. The artwork is fairly good. I like it. It's okay. I can see why some people might not like it. But it's okay to me. And you can see what you want and what you have. Very good. And then you have your Tavern deck, which will make up the other half of the cards. So you're going to have 2 card decks that you'll be using. Same style, but this would be more like items and things that you're doing. You have little icons that you'll have at the bottom. And that's all the components. So really this game is, the majority of this is going to be the 2 decks of cards and the coins. That's really what you're going to be paying for. And the custom insert here is pretty nice. So we'll take a look at how the game works. Here's a rule booklet. Tells you on the front it's 1 to 6 tavern keepers. That's players, of course. The rule book isn't that well organized. So you're going to have a bunch of words here. There's a few ways to play: competitive, cooperative, and solo that you're going to have in here. It's going to tell you how to begin the game. The insertions here for the competitive or cooperative, kind of thrown here with the solo. You're going to have a component overview with pictures, which is great. Not a whole lot in here with the how to play. Once again, you're going to have another overview here that you'll have. Explain how the day phase works. And then I'm going to tell you what the tavern cards kind of look like and what everything means. You're going to have your non-playing characters, your icons, the trading and kind of how that works, and then game terms will be described. And then they're going to explain to you the way the second phase works and how the patron cards work. So these patron cards come out in the second phase. You're going to have the counting the fill, which is like the third phase of the game. Your hand size limits and how to win. Big font, white, which is good. I like that. They're going to have an advertisement for the expansions and a game they're going to be coming out with or have already come out with. And then a cheat sheet on the back. It's okay. I'm not crazy about the rule book. I'm not really crazy about the organization, how to find things. There's not an index in the front. I found some things confusing and missing, but middle of the road at best. So here's what the setup of the game will look like. The first player will take round 1 in the server. Each player will get 3 coins. You'll shuffle both decks, and then you'll take 4 cards from the tavern deck per player, and each player will take these. And then what they will do is they will draft these cards. They will decide what they want. First time you play, you might not want to draft because everybody doesn't know what they're doing, but you'll keep one and you'll pass one on. Then the next player to your will give you their cards. You'll take a second one, etc., until you're starting the game with a hand of 4 cards. So you'll draft those, and then you'll be ready to go. There are 3 phases to the game. There's a day phase, night phase, and count the till. And once you're ready to go, you'll continue through all 3 of those phases. When that's done, you'll pass the server, so the next player can be the first player, and you'll use these to track. That'll be round 2, and then you'll see round 3 and round 4, depending on how many players, how many rounds that you're going to play in the game. I'm going to set the patron deck aside because it's not used in the day phase. In the beginning of that, each player will then draw 3 cards from the tavern deck. So these will just be randomly aside, added to your 4, and you'll have 7 cards. And now what you'll do at this point is you'll see down here as a purchase price. So if I wanted to play this card and have it down in front of me for game purposes, I would then spend my coins. And everybody kind of does this simultaneously. You'll just be playing cards out based on what, for reasons in the game, which I'll get to, and you just be paying the prices. So if I want to put mutton down, then I would have to pay 2 coins, and because I only started out with 3 when the game started, I would be out. But you can purchase anything based on the price. And some of these will give you powers. Gain 1 coin each round if you have a knuckle fighter in your tavern, etc. So there's different things that you can do. Higher 1 cost, or if you have any mead, I've got mutton and crusty bread, but if I had mead, then that guy would be free just for having it. I don't have to spend it. You can see they all have some different cost on them. So that's what you're going to do in the day phase. During the day phase, you can also trade cards if you want to. So I could trade cards that I've played or that are in my hand and kind of travel these up. The only thing you can utilize at this time is you can only trade coins and you can only trade cards. That's all the trading that you can do. But we kind of found that we didn't trade as much, maybe just our group think, but you definitely need to do that if you want this to work out for you. In the night phase, you won't be using the tavern deck anymore. You'll be using the patron deck. Each player will be randomly given 3 patrons that they'll be utilizing this turn. Then players will play these patron cards depending on what they want. In this case, this guy wants an entertainer, any of them. I don't have an entertainer. I only have mutton and crusty bread. Wah, wah, bad luck for me. This guy wants drink. I've got mutton and crusty bread, so I can't play him. Luckily, this guy wants any drink. He's a patron. You may play 1 bread for free from your hand this round. So that's what he's going to allow me to do. So I will definitely play him down. I'll just place him here by the bread so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now, if you get lucky and you can play more of these patron cards, fantastic. You just lucked out. You did a really good job. In my case, I can only play 33% or 1 out of the 3 cards that I was randomly assigned. But I was at least, and thank goodness I was able to play the Village Baker, which is at least 1. Now you're going to get gold, and you're going to get 1 gold for each patron you have. Now there's going to be some noble patrons that will be in here, and you can only play them if you have cards that allow it, but they're worth 2. So I'm going to get 1 coin for playing that patron. Now in the competitive game, if you have 20 coins at any point in the game at this point, you would win the game. If you're playing cooperative, then you wait to the last round. That would be cooperative or solo, and the game ends and the outcome is determined. Now at this point, you would discard any patrons unless they like something in your tavern. So right now, this guy likes the bread, so he'll stick around. But let's say somebody played a card, or somehow I traded it away or something, and this bread is no longer there in round 2, then I would get paid for that guy, and then this guy would go away because I'm no longer serving what he wants. But as long as I'm serving what he wants, he will stay in my tavern. Now at this point, I have to discard down to 5. Now I have tavern and patron cards in my hand. I have a whole bunch. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, which means I would have to discard 2 cards. Any combination. Could be all tavern, all patrons, 1 of each. Whatever doesn't work into my strategy. So at the end of my turn, I only have 5 cards in my hand. The round marker passes, and you continue to do the same thing over and over until either somebody has 20 coins or you play the number of rounds and you see who wins. Who should buy this game? This is for people who like card games. Maybe you want to talk while you're playing. You don't mind a little bit of luck in your game. For those that don't mind going out and getting expansions, even cheaper ones, then this could be one because I think the expansions are required for this game. Other than that, I think most people are probably going to pass, or this is a try before you buy. But it is a solid game, and I did like it, but I got so many games, I can't keep them all, guys. So this one's going to be a purge for me. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.